Hi everyone, welcome back. Today I want to talk about interacting with objects inside of Three.js. Picking with a mouse cursor. So coming in here and selecting. Let's see if I can quickly demo what that could look like. Kind of like this. I have a scene with a bunch of objects arranged in a grid, and as I mouse over each object, it highlights with a yellow color. So yeah, I want to build that today. Let's get started. We're going to build this four steps. The first step is to just arrange a bunch of geometry into a grid. Then we're going to create a picker using a raycaster, which all it does is take the mouse position and it projects a ray through the scene, and any object that it intersects is reported back, and we can use that to scale or rotate or change the color of or do whatever to that object. Cool. Let's get started. I'll change this to a standard material, and I also want to change the sunlight. I'm going to comment that out. Whoops. And add instead a hemisphere light. Not a hemo light, but a hemi light. And then scene.add hemi light. And that gives us a more even shading. I could crank up the intensity of that. I don't want to do that. Crank it down. Anyway. I think I'm going to change that box to an icosahedron. And the defaults are like so. Let's make it a little bit smaller and give it some detail. Kind of like that. So far, so good. Now, let's create a grid of these objects by modifying this chunk of code here to be a function get object, and right now we're not going to pass in anything, and we don't have anything. Oops. I'm trying to animate something that's not there, so that's that. In fact, let's make that an update method for our mesh. Mesh.update equals a method like so. And I type on my Mac keyboard Shift Option F to format. And let's just say let object equal get object and scene, actually object group dot add object. We don't have an object group yet. Let's just define that real quick. Thank you. C.add object group, and boom. Let's give that object group a update method that looks like this, and I just want to loop over its children and update each one of those like that. And now inside of my animate method, I can call object group dot update. And that rotates because I just have one right now. But I could easily say const num not num object. If I wanted to arrange them randomly, I could do that. Should we do that instead of in a grid? Why not? Let's make it 20, and then like so, and then each one of them gets a random position. Object dot position dot x equals that, and dot y, and dot z too. Okay, let's define this range. Const range equals 5, and then use that instead of hard coding this value. And range times 0.5. So that kind of bunches them closer together, but not quite close enough, right? I want them all to be visible. Maybe 4? No, it's going to have to be 3 because of my window size. Cool. If I wanted to make them, first of all, let's make them smaller. In fact, let's pass in a size, like so. Oh, and a color. All right. Let's give that size, like so. Or if I want to just share the same geometry, I can pull that out and say that's 0.5, and then just set the scale here. Mesh.scale.set scalar size. Oh, I broke it. Because I'm not passing. Is it because I'm passing nothing? I need to at least pass an empty object when I'm instantiating this guy here, right? Now it's happy. That actually looks, they look smaller now. Oh, because I've scaled down the icosahedron. Cool. Let's give them a more boring color. Just make them white. Now they're picking up the color from that hemisphere light only. Now I want to, I've created a bunch of objects. I'm going to create my picker. And that's going to look like this. It's going to be a function get picker, and it's going to return a picker. It's not called picker yet though. It's called a ray caster, like so. I don't need this, and this is too soon. I need const picked object. Actually, just null. I don't need an array. And that's all. That's all I'm going to do. Now I'm on a pick method. I'm going to return only that pick method. And the method looks like this. Function pick. This model of creating objects instead of using the class keyword is something I picked up when reading Douglas Crockford's book on JavaScript. The most recent one. What's it called? You see that? How JavaScript works. It's 4 years old now, but still recommended. A simple pattern for creating objects that doesn't use the class keyword. Because why use classes? Here's this pick function. It's going to take mouse position, the scene, and something else. Maybe the camera? I need to cheat and see. That's not right, GitHub Copilot. Here's the legit version. It takes the scene, camera, and mouse pause. Good. And what we'll do is, if there's an existing picked object, null it out. We'll set from camera the mouse position in the camera, and then collect the objects that are being intersected. In other words, if there's an existing picked object, then picked object equals null. Picked object equals null. So clear it out. And then let's see, arraycaster dot set from camera. Okay. And then const intersects equals arraycaster dot intersect objects scene dot children. And if intersects dot length is greater than 0, then that's our new picked object. And I'm going to call a method on that, picked object dot highlight. Let's call it that. Or yeah. True. And we'll call the same thing here, highlight false. I think that's a good idea. I'm actually not sure. Let's just do the highlight true first. And there's nothing yet. Well, actually, I have no mouse interaction. Let's just write that highlight method real quick. Mesh dot highlight. Is hot. That's a little confusing, isn't it? Highlighted is highlighted. Mesh dot color. Dot material dot emissive dot set hex. We'll just start with a orange color. Otherwise, just use the existing color, which I think I've defined as yellow. Or white. Cool, so now I've got a highlight method. Let's write some mouse listeners too. Let's say function handle mouse move. And that's going to take an event. That's it. There's my mouse listener. And I'm going to add an event listener, window dot add event listener mouse move. I actually just want mouse pause dot set, and I don't need these x's and y's. And I'm defining mouse pause up here at the top. Const mouse pause equals a new vector 2. Okay, so I have a handler. I'm in that handler. Every time the mouse moves over the screen, I'm setting this mouse position based on the client X. That's what the browser returns for and the client Y, by mouse position, divided by the window.length times 2 minus 1. Why? This does some sort of normalization. If we want to see what that value becomes, mouse pause, let's just log that out. Console.log mouse pause equals. Now I can take a look at the console like this. Whoops, picker's not defined. But now as I move the mouse around, I'm getting this decimal value, which in the upper left corner is almost 1, and in the lower corner it's also almost 1. Interesting. I see. It's moving between a -1 and +1. It's a normalized mouse position, right? Oh, okay. Picker is not defined because I didn't instantiate it yet. I just created this get picker, but I didn't create my picker yet. So const picker equals get picker. Now that we have a picker that can pick. I don't see anything happening. I want to add a couple more listeners. See function. Let's call it clear mouse pause, and then we'll set that to some stupid value that's unlikely to interact with anything. And add a listener, yeah, mouse out, and also mouse leave, please. Okay. I think that's all I need. Let's just see. I don't see it working. Let's see. My assignment to a constant variable on line 29. Let's keep this right here. Make it a little bigger. On line 29. Const picked object. Should be a let. Oh! Look at that. It's working. Isn't that cool? I want them to be unhighlighted though. I don't even need this anymore, do I? I'll keep it. So in my highlight method, if it's highlighted, okay. It's still not working. Oh, because I'm setting color. Emissive. Set color to whatever is the default value of an emissive. I don't know. I think it's that. It's highlighted. That's not working either. Is it calling it? Is it calling highlight false? Let's do the color instead. I don't know why that emissive isn't working. And we'll set hex to the color that it has. That's not working either. Shoot. But why? Don't you want to know why? I do. Reading highlight. JS line 23 here. Oh. I should probably do this in a different order, right? Oh, that's really cool. That's weird that they turned green. I set the color to default here. But when I'm instantiating them in this loop here, I'm giving it no color at all. Why is it white though? Whoops. Oh, that's why. It's just be color. Like that. And now they're highlighted and unhighlighted. I think the emissive looked better. What is the default value for emissive? Emissive. I guess it's that. And now I can make this emissive. Like that. Woo! Oh, I don't want it set to color. I want it set to black. Look at that. What if instead we tweened this? That's going to be a subject for another video. Yeah. But there you go. Now you can use the raycaster in THREE.js to interact with objects in the scene. You could do lots of things. You could scale dot set scalar size times 1.2 and then return it to regular size like so. Now they actually grow as well. I think a tween would be so nice here. Let's see. We can stop the rotation. I don't know, is that cool? Does that look good? I can't tell. I think it looks good. Ooh, I like this angle too because they look like they're rimlet. I like it. The possibilities are many. You could use a tween to animate the color changing smoothly. and use different easing methods to give a really cool effect, it would look really cool. But I'm going to stop here. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please let me know what you think in the comments below. If there's something you'd like to see, I'd love to know. And yeah, as always, thanks so much for watching. See you next time.